October 29th, 1929. Wall Street is collapsing. Millionaires are jumping from windows. Banks are failing. Families are losing everything they've ever worked for. But there's one man walking calmly through the chaos. His name is Harold. He's a factory worker earning $20 a week. While millionaires are panicking, Harold is smiling. What does this ordinary man know that the richest people in America don't? What secret is he carrying that makes him immune to financial disaster? Fast forward to today. Your washing machine just died. You need 400 pounds right now. Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweating. You're about to panic buy a credit card solution that will haunt you for months. But what if you could react like Harold? What if you had the same unshakable confidence that carried him through the worst financial crisis in history? The answer lies in secrets that are 4,000 years old, principles so powerful they have survived the fall of empires, world wars, and the invention of cryptocurrency. If you want to know what Harold knew, if you want to sleep peacefully while others panic about money, keep watching. Let me tell you Harold's story. It starts 3 years earlier in 1926. Harold is broke. His wife is sick. His children are hungry. He's working double shifts at the factory. But there's never enough money. Then he discovers something extraordinary, a book about ancient Babylon, about a man named Akkad, who went from starving scribe to the richest man in the city. Harold reads one line that changes everything. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Harold stares at these words. They seem obvious, but then he realizes something terrifying. He's been keeping nothing. Every penny he earns flows straight through his fingers. Harold starts with 10 cents from every dollar. Not for bills, not for expenses, for Harold. He hides in a coffee tin. His wife thinks he's lost his mind. "We can't afford to save," she protests. But Harold knows something she doesn't. 3 years later, when the stock market crashes, Harold has $156 in his coffee tin. That's like having 2,000 pounds today. While millionaires are ruined, Harold is prepared. The secret that saved Harold? It wasn't new in 1929. It wasn't even new in 1926. It was ancient wisdom that has been hiding in plain sight for 4,000 years. It is 1901. British archaeologists are digging in the ruins of ancient Babylon. They uncover clay tablets covered in cuneiform writing. When they finally decode them, they discover something extraordinary. These tablets tell the story of Akkad, a scribe who lived 4,000 years ago. Like Harold, Akkad was broke. Like you, he was frustrated. Every day he watched rich merchants parade past his desk while he counted other people's money. But Akkad asked a dangerous question. What makes them different from me? He starts questioning the wealthy merchants. What he discovers will shock you. The richest man in Babylon tells him, "I learned that what flows to those who save for it. I save 1/10 of all I earn. That 10th belongs to me alone." It then dawned on Akkad that he's been working for everyone except himself. He's been paying his landlord, his baker, his tailor, but never Akkad. He's been the last person to get paid from his own work. So Akkad starts saving 1/10 of everything he earns. Not after expenses, before expenses. He pays Akkad first. His friends mock him. You can't afford to save. They laugh. But something magical happens. The money doesn't disappear. No, it grows. Within years, Akkad has more wealth than the merchants he once envied. The broke scribe becomes the richest man in Babylon. Here's a twist that connects to Harold's story. Akkad's method wasn't just about saving money. It was about changing identity. He stopped being someone who worked for money and became someone money worked for. When Harold found that book in 1926, he wasn't just reading about ancient history. He was discovering the same psychological transformation that had created wealth for 4,000 years. Let's start with the worst case scenario. Global nuclear war, asteroid impact, zombie apocalypse. Or maybe you need an ambulance because you've had a heart attack from checking your bank balance. But let's get real. Your actual emergencies look more like this. Your boiler dies on the coldest day of winter. Your car fails its MOT spectacularly. Emergency dental work. Your laptop decides to update itself permanently into digital heaven. Here's the shocking reality. 40% of people in the UK can't handle a £500 emergency. But here's what Harold and Akkad understood 4,000 years ago. It's not about the size of the disaster. It's about the size of your preparation. Let me show you something that will change your perspective forever. This is the same calculation Harold did with his coffee tin in 1929, but we have made it digital. £2,500 monthly income. Using Akkad's ancient 10% rule, that's 250% every month. But watch what happens when we break this down. £57 per week, £8.20 per day. That's literally the price of a fancy coffee and a pastry. Harold was saving the equivalent of his daily lunch money, and it made him unbreakable. Set your target to £1,000. Not the traditional 6 months of expenses that financial advisors love to preach. That's like telling someone to climb Everest when they have never walked up a hill. £1,000 covers 80% of UK emergencies. 4 months. That's all it takes to transform from financially fragile to financially unbreakable. Watch this progress bar. This is your journey from panic to peace. Boiler breakdown, £400 covered. Car MOT failure, £600 covered. Emergency dental, £300 covered. Phone repair, £250 covered. You are not saving money. You are buying peace of mind. The same emergency, 2 different responses. Without savings, panic, credit cards, borrowing from family, stress for months. With Harold's method, check savings, pay cash, sleep peacefully, move on with life. What Akkad discovered in ancient Babylon, what Harold applied in 1929, you can implement right now with this calculator. It's the same mathematical principles that survived the fall of empires packaged for your smartphone. And just like Harold kept his coffee tin separate but accessible, modern Harold would use Marcus by Gold math, Sesh at 4.5%, Chase Bank at 4.1%, or even Monzo for 24/7 emergency access. Your money grows while you sleep, ready when life strikes. This isn't just about money. It's about identity transformation. You stop being someone who things happen to and become someone who's prepared for what life throws at you. If this calculator just changed how you think about emergency funds, if you can see yourself becoming Harold instead of the panicked masses, then here's my simple offer. This tool, 3 cups of coffee this week, or a lifetime of financial unbreakability. Harold would choose wisely. Akkad would approve. Your future self will thank you. Because 4,000 years of wisdom shouldn't cost more than a weekend coffee habit. Link in the description. Make Harold proud. Now you know why you need £1,000 sitting in your account. But here's where most people fail. They try to manually build this fund every month. They rely on willpower. They make excuses. They forget to transfer money. Sound familiar? This is where we need to learn from the greatest engineers in history. Let's travel to ancient Rome, 100 CE. The Romans built something extraordinary, aqueducts, that delivered 50 million gallons of water daily to Rome. Completely automatic for centuries. No human intervention needed, pure engineering genius. A Roman engineer would look at your savings struggle and see the problem immediately. You are trying to carry water in buckets when you should be building aqueducts. What happened to cities without aqueducts? They relied on people carrying water in buckets. Some days they'll carry lots, some days they would forget, and some days they'll just get lazy. Sound familiar? That's manual saving. Every time you have to manually decide whether to save money, your brain starts to sabotage you. Oh, I need that coffee. Those shoes are on sale. I will save double next month. Your brain has more excuses than a politician during election season. Roman engineers calculated the perfect gradient. Just 0.5% slope. Too steep, and the water destroys the channel. Too flat, and it's stagnant. Your direct debit needs the same precision. The day after payday, before your brain can sabotage the flow. So, I built something that would make the Roman engineers proud, a financial aqueduct builder. But before I show you the tool, let me prove it works with my own Roman experiment. In January 2023, I opened the NatWest regular saver. Started at 6% interest. Now it's about 5.12%. I automated £150 every month. Said it once, forgot about it completely. Watch what happened when I built my own financial aqueduct. Just like Roman aqueducts moved water from source to destination, this moves money from your salary to your savings automatically. Let me recreate my exact setup in the tool. Monthly income wasn't £2,500 back then. I was saving £150 from whatever I earned. £150 every month, automated for 30 months now. Watch the tool calculate what actually happened to me. NatWest regular saver at 5.12%, exactly what I used. The Romans would approve of this rate. I have deposited £4,500 over 30 months, but here's where Roman automation meets Chinese compound interest. Total value today is £4,847. That's £347 earned while I slept, binged Netflix, and completely forgot the accounting. Here's what would have happened without Roman automation. I would have saved maybe £500 total over 30 months. I would have made excuses, forgotten transfers, spent the money on coffee. actually shoes. Instead, I have nearly 5,000 pounds. The magic moment, day 28 of every month, or day 16, basically the day after your payday, my automated transfer date. Before I could spend it, before I could make excuses, £150 vanished from my NatWest account. Automatic, inevitable, Roman. Choose your target account. The tool shows you real UK rates. Watch your financial aqueduct in action. Money flows from your salary to your savings account automatically, inevitably, like Roman engineering. Your salary is the mountain spring. Your savings account is the city reservoir. The direct debit is your aqueduct. Built once, works forever. Roman engineers would set up the infrastructure and let go and have wine. You set up the automation, then go binge Netflix. David Bach research proves that Romans knew 2,000 years ago automated savers save 15 times more than manual savers. Not 15% more, 15 times more. Look at this comparison. Manual bucket carriers average £200 per year in savings. Your Roman aqueduct, £3,000 per year. My NatWest experiment proves it. I save 10 times more than I ever managed manually. The Romans built aqueducts that lasted 2,000 years. Your financial aqueduct can last a lifetime. And unlike ancient Rome, you can build yours in less than 10 minutes. But even Roman automation has one weakness. It's lonely. You are building your financial aqueduct in isolation. What if you could combine Roman engineering with something even more powerful, the unbreakable strength of community? A long time ago, everyone who had the means wanted a piece of a beautiful continent, the continent of Africa. Africa is where communities have been outsmarting banks for over 1,000 years. While Romans were building aqueducts for water, Africans were building something even more sophisticated. Financial aqueducts powered by human trust. From Senegal to Nigeria, from Ghana to Zimbabwe. They call it by different names. Tontine, Susu, Jangi, and in Zimbabwe, Maround or Mukando, meaning to throw into one pot. It is believed that in 1963, in rural Zimbabwe, a Catholic missionary named Brother Wadilove watched women walking miles to markets earning small amounts, but having nowhere safe to save. He establishes the first formal savings club through the Savings Development Movement. By 1970, there are 30 clubs. By 1974, 1,500 clubs, mainly led by women who had been completely locked out of traditional banking. These weren't just savings groups. It was an economic revolution happening one village at a time. Today, in Zimbabwe, people of all ages working or hustling use Mukando to buy cars, open market stalls, build homes, buy stands, buy land. So how does this ancient system work? Watch the simulation. Each number represents a community member. For example, 10 people contributing $100 each month. Every month, one person takes the entire $1,000 pot. No banks, no interest rates, just pure community mathematics. First month, a member receives $1,000 after contributing just $100. Month 2, member 7 gets their turn. The order is predetermined, but everyone knows they will get their moment. Think about the psychology. If you are getting the pot in month 5, You're guaranteed $1,000 after contributing just $100. If you're getting it in month 10, you'd have saved $1,000 over 10 months without any temptation to spend it. It's like having 10 Roman aqueducts all flowing into your reservoir. This system has gone beyond the African continent. In India, cheat funds. In Latin America, tandas. I'm testing something similar with Monzo's 1p challenge. Save 1p a day, 2p on day, 3p on day 3. Sounds too simple to work, right? But here's the brilliant psychology. It's now June 2025. I've saved £124 without even noticing. By December 31st, I will have saved £667.95 total. That's Christmas sorted or a weekend away, all from amount smaller than a cup of coffee. Roman automation meets African accountability. But here's where Mukando reveals its true genius. It's not just about the money. In Cameroon, these circles offer emergency support for illness, bereavement, celebration. They replace banks entirely, providing not just savings, but social insurance. Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, "No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind." Africans figured this out centuries ago. Your financial success accelerates when you are accountable to a community, not just yourself. You've got Roman engineering automating your savings. You've got the African community keeping you accountable. But what if we could take these two forces and then multiply them exponentially? For that, we need to travel to the most sophisticated wealth-building civilization in ancient history, where merchants didn't just save money, they made it reproduce like a mathematical miracle. Welcome to 8th century China during the Tang Dynasty. While Europe was still figuring out that zero was a number, Chinese merchants were running the world's most advanced economy. But their real genius wasn't just making money. It was multiplying it through strategic distribution. Tang merchants never put all their eggs in one basket. They had a systematic approach that would make modern portfolio managers weep with envy. They called it the three-river strategy. Like how the Yellow River, Yangtze River, and Pearl River all flowed into different seas. River 1, survival funds, rent, food, essentials. River 2, opportunity funds, new trade ventures, land purchases, partnerships. And River 3, the legacy funds, generational wealth that their great-great-grandchildren would inherit. Let's apply Tang wisdom to your £1,100 monthly income. Instead of just Roman automation into one account, you are building multiple financial aqueducts. You are allocating a certain amount to emergency fund, a certain amount to opportunity fund for investments, and an additional amount to side hustle fund for building additional income streams. When the Silk Road faced disruptions, merchants with multiple income rivers survived and thrived. Those with single streams, they join the unemployment queue faster than they can say economic downturn. Today's gig economy would make Tang merchants proud. Your salary is River 1. Your side hustle, freelancing, Etsy shop, YouTube channel is River 2. Your investments growing through compound interest, that's River 3, flowing straight into generational wealth. Robert Kiyosaki wrote in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, "The rich don't work for money, they make money work for them." Tang Dynasty merchants wrote the original playbook 1,200 years earlier. They understood that true wealth isn't about working harder. It's about making your money work smarter across multiple streams. But here's where all these ancient civilizations converge. Whether you're building Roman aqueducts, joining African rounds, or creating Tang revenue streams. There's one mathematical force that amplifies everything. The Babylonians discovered it. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. And that is compound interest. So, what is compound interest? You plant one tree. First year, it gives you 10 apples. You plant those 10 apples as new trees. Second year, you get 100 apples. Plant those. Third year, you get 1,000 apples. That's compound interest working on all of your ancient strategies simultaneously. Your Roman automated savings earn interest. Your African community rounds, when invested, multiply exponentially. Your Tang multiple income streams, each compound separately, like having 3 separate apple orchards, all growing at once. If you save £200 monthly at 4.5% interest for 10 years, you put in £24,000. But compound interest adds £5,640. That's an extra £5,640 your money earned while you were binge watching Netflix or working and arguing about Love Island on Twitter. Over time, the rates haven't changed dramatically. In ancient Babylon, it offered 20%. It's a bit aggressive, maybe involves some dodgy lending. However, we do have lifetime assets that offers 25%, so possible, right? Medieval England had 10%. Victorian Britain averaged 5%. Now, modern UK offers 4 to 5%. Surprisingly similar to our Victorian ancestors, we're probably complaining about the same things we are today. Now imagine combining everything. Babylonian emergency funds earnings, compound interest, Roman automation feeding multiple Tang Dynasty income streams, African community accountability keeping you consistent, all multiplied by the mathematical certainty of compound interest working 24/7, 365 days a year. This isn't about saving money anymore. You are wielding 4,000 years of financial wisdom, automated like Roman engineering, supported by African community, diversified like Tang mansions, and multiplied by Babylonian mathematics. You are not just building wealth, you are building a financial empire that would make ancient emperors jealous. So, when is the best time to start? Like investing? The best time was 10 years ago, but the second best time is now. But what if you have nothing at all? What if you are on zero, you've got no income, you've got no salary, you cannot pay yourself first when you don't even have a pay at all? Throughout history, the greatest fortunes weren't built by those who waited for the perfect moment. They were built by those who understood a fundamental truth. Wisdom is the ultimate investment, and knowledge is preparation disguised as education. 3,000 years ago, a young king named Solomon had just inherited the throne of Israel from his father David, and with it, the weight of governing a nation. One night in the sacred city of Gibeon, God appeared to Solomon in a dream and offered him anything his heart desired. Solomon could have asked for military might, for long life, for the destruction of his enemies. Instead, he made a request that would echo through millennia. Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. Solomon asked for wisdom, not wealth, not power, wisdom. And in that single request, he demonstrated the very wisdom he sought. Fast forward to the 21st century, a different person, a different time, but a remarkably similar principle at work. 10 years ago, without significant income or immediate opportunities, I picked up a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Page by page, I consumed principles about assets versus liabilities, cash flow, and financial intelligence. I learned about making money work for me instead of working for money. I absorbed concepts about real estate, investment, and building wealth. But here's a crucial part. I had no immediate way to apply any of it. No spare capital, no. Zero capital. I had no capital at all. I had no income, no business connections, no obvious path to implementation, just knowledge sitting in my mind like seeds waiting for the right soil. Back in ancient Jerusalem, God was so pleased with Solomon's request for wisdom that he granted not only discernment beyond measure, but also riches and honor unlike any king before or after him. Solomon's wisdom became legendary. Kings and queens traveled from distant lands just to hear him speak. His understanding of economics, international trade, and resource management transformed Israel into a regional superpower. The Queen of Sheba herself declared that his wisdom exceeded even his reputation. 10 years passed, then everything aligned. Not only did the opportunities begin to appear, but I finally found myself in the right environment, surrounded by people who spoke the language of assets and cash flow, connected to mentors and networks that supported wealth-building principles, with the financial means to finally act. But here's what makes all the difference. When these opportunities arrived, when I was finally in environments that supported what I had learned, there was no scrambling, no confusion, no expensive learning curve. The knowledge was already there. The principles were already internalized. The mental framework was already built. Every concept from Kiyosaki's book clicked into place like pieces of a puzzle that had been waiting a decade to be assembled. I already knew exactly what to do. Both stories illustrate the same profound truth. Preparation precedes opportunity. Solomon didn't wait until he faced a crisis to ask for wisdom. I didn't wait until I had money to learn about money. As we conclude this lesson on saving, through the history of saving and wealth building, from the biblical era to today, the principle remains unchanged. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and the knowledge you plant today becomes the prosperity you harvest tomorrow. You don't need an income to start building wealth. You need wisdom. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to begin. You have to prepare for it. Feed your brain, gain knowledge. Because when opportunity knocks, and it will knock, you want to be the person who already knows exactly what to do. That knowledge, that preparation, that wisdom you cultivate today, that's not just learning, that's planting your money tree. And as Wealthling, we are here to give you this knowledge. So we're done for today, folks. See you next week for another dose of Wealthling wisdom. Like, subscribe, and keep learning.